Welcome back to the channel. The year 2023 was massive for games, and why would they want to slow down? Of course they don't want to, and it looks like they're trying to carry that momentum into the first half of the next year. Today, we're ranking the top 10 new games of the first half of 2024 up until August. Let's kick things off with number 10. Number 10, Tekken 8 release date, January 26, 2024, is the first fighting game to use Unreal Engine 5 and is technically incredible looking. The story is following on from the events of Tekken 7 and will follow Jin Kazama in his quest to bring the fight to his father, Kazuya. The King of Iron Fist tournament will make a return, but it seems the world has bigger problems if Kazama is allowed to run rampant. Tekken 8 have a demo available that includes the first chapter of this story mode, so you can see how it starts out before the full game comes. This game is shaping up to be a remarkable fighting game, building on everything that Tekken 7 got right in terms of spectacle and gameplay flow, while also bringing important features to the table, like much improved single-player content and what seems to be a superb training mode. Number 9, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown release date, January 18th, 2024, brings back the series with style. You play as Sargon, one of the mighty immortals, a band of protectors to the Persian Empire. After a calamitous betrayal, the gang heads off to Mount Kaf in search of the titular Prince of Persia. However, Mount Kaf isn't quite what it seems, as the immortals suddenly find themselves trapped within a time-warping labyrinth filled to the brim with all kinds of mythological creatures. From our impressions, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown is shaping up to be a solid start to PlayStation's 2024. It doesn't break the mold in any sense, but everything it does really well. For a side-scroller, it has a visually pleasing world to explore. The content seems to be as both engaging and worthy of exploration. With a solid difficulty level, we're looking forward to unraveling the mystery of Mount Kaf. Number 8, Persona 3. Reload release date, February 2nd, 2024. Who hasn't fantasized about battling sinister shadows in the dark of night, akin to a horror movie, while attending school during the day, forging powerful connections through friendships and love, ultimately evolving into the savior of humanity? We've always been avid Persona fans on this channel, and the prospect of a Persona 3 remake has me genuinely thrilled. Experience what made this game leave such an impact now better than ever. One of the most beloved role-playing games of all time is getting a next-generation overhaul. The game poses a nuanced challenge in deciding how to allocate your time. However, it goes beyond that. A central aspect of Persona is its Pokemon-style system, where you collect creatures for summon in battle. Building friendships or social links is also integral to the game, and these connections are associated with specific arcana, meaning that your choice of companions can influence the strength of personas you acquire and use. The outcome is a daily structure that makes it challenging to put the game down. I often find myself unable to stop until reaching seemingly arbitrary milestones, such as completing exams or reaching a specific level in Tartarus. They have redone all of the animated cutscenes, and it really is like playing Persona 3 with the quality of Persona 5. Apparently there's going to be a lot more environmental stuff you can do too, but they haven't altered any of the dialogue. Number 7, Alone in the Dark release date, March 20th, 2024. Alone in the Dark, often considered the precursor to Resident Evil, is making a comeback in a manner similar to the successful remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3. In fact, the developers at Pisces Interactive have been enlisted by THQ Nordic to emulate the triumphs of those games. Just like its counterparts, the game transitions from the fixed camera, tank-controlled format of the original Alone in the Dark to a more contemporary third-person, over-the-shoulder perspective. Personally, I'm eagerly anticipating this remake. If you want to get a glimpse of how it plays, there's a demo available called Grace in the Dark. It serves as a prologue chapter, setting expectations for what the full experience will be like. From what I've seen, it does an excellent job, and I believe this remake is poised to be a significant success. Number 6, Like a Dragon. Infinite Wealth release date, January 26, 2024. This series has never been better. While it was met with skepticism upon announcement, Yakuza, Like a Dragon's transition to turn-based combat turned out to be one of the highlights of the early PS5 era. That gameplay style returns in Infinite Wealth, although it's clear that Ryuga Gotoku Studio has learned a lot in this second attempt. While the interface remains similar, walking around within a radius and picking targets feels much more dynamic, with positioning having a direct correlation on damage output for some moves. It's also entertaining watching the chaos that unfolds as enemies pinball into one another. All of this takes place in the idyllic backdrop of Hawaii, a real seismic shift for the Yakuza franchise in terms of environmental art direction. Oversaturated colors rule the day, with deep blue seas and scorching sunshines popping off the screen. Number 5, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink release date February 1st, 2024. Announced during the annual Grand Blue Fantasy Effies, Sigames will release a playable PS5 and PS4 demo for Grand Blue Fantasy. Relink in January, the demo should give fans even more reason to be excited for this highly promising title. Who has never wanted to explore islands in the sky by boat and become the king of the sky pirates? Grand Blue Fantasy Relink takes place in the sky realm of the original mobile games world. Players take charge of a man or woman whose father tells them to sail for a legendary island. But an encounter with a mysterious girl called Lyria sets the young explorer on a grander adventure. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink appears to play a lot like Tales of Arise. In between those narrative beats, it's the combat that'll keep you engaged. With so many playable characters on offer, the developer wants to create a completely different game experience with every character. There'll be abilities unique to each one, as well as different weapons to wield like swords, guns, and magic attacks. We cannot wait to play this game. Number 4, Black Myth Wukong. Release date August 20th, 2024. A statement that once appeared entirely implausible. Black Myth Wukong is now within reach. The remarkable action game from Game Science has, at last, received a release date at the Game Awards last year. Although there's ample time for the project to potentially face another delay, it's evident that many are eagerly anticipating this adventure rooted in Chinese mythology. Undoubtedly, there's a compelling reason why excitement ensues whenever a new gameplay video of Wukong emerges. Based on Journey to the West, one of the 4 classic novels of Chinese literature, the game casts you as the destined one, challenging you to venture into a fascinating yet perilous world. Master and combine different spells, weapons, and abilities to suit your combat style. Number 3, Rise of the Ronin release date March 22nd, 2024. The samurai resurgence that Ghost of Tsushima kickstarted is still alive and well, it seems. The game developer behind titles like Ninja Gaiden and Nioh has decided to bring its spectacular action to an open world, introducing a samurai game called Rise of the Ronin. PlayStation 5 will be the gateway to a new samurai adventure with the DNA of Nioh. In Rise of the Ronin, you'll be transported to the late 19th century, a period known as the fall of the Tokugawa regime, and you'll be able to explore a vast world. Whether on horseback or with a glider, Rise of the Ronin will offer great mobility, featuring a wide array of weapons and equipment, including swords, spears, and even firearms. Number 2, Dragon's Dogma 2. Release date March 22nd, 2024. Arriving sooner than many expected, Dragon's Dogma 2 has the potential to elevate fantastical action RPGs to new heights. At this point, there's no reason not to trust in Capcom's action game expertise, and this sequel already has an exemplary template to build upon. For our money, the original Dragon's Dogma is still one of the greatest action RPGs that money can buy. And so, the thought of a full-blown follow-up is enough to make us drool. Number 1, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Release date February 29th, 2024.
Not yet. "7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see."
Leading the list by some distance, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the most anticipated PS5 game of 2023. And we think that's quite impressive because Square Enix could have so easily botched the return of Cloud with Final Fantasy VII Remake. But here we are, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this promised trilogy. Quite frankly, we're genuinely excited to witness the unfolding of the Rebirth story and the advancements in gameplay. The entire world is watching in sheer anticipation for this amazing game. With this, we conclude our video, and as you can see, 2024 seems to be a fantastic year for games. We'll be here to bring you all the latest updates from the world of games, animes, series, and movies. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell to stay connected. See you soon.